This is the CPRS cheat sheet. It just discusses certain weird things that it's like a peculiar places to find certain objective information. Let me just go back and I will just probably demonstrate about these information and where to find them. Give me 1 second. Any questions so far? Was the presentation helpful? Do you guys find any new information useful to you? All right, so I'm gonna just demonstrate some of these to you, and then we'll go from there. So let's just bring up CPRs again. Yes. No, it's just frozen now. Yeah, so these are like weird spots where you find so PFT and TTE. They are like under the procedures tab, reports tab, and you go to procedures, and then you can also find them in the pharmacocardiology notes. Imaging, you have a pathology report under anatomic pathology. AGDs, you can go either to the GI notes, GI result letter. I'll show you what that is in a second. And then the EKG is probably like the most difficult to find for some reason. You go to tools, Vista imaging display, and then you're gonna find EKG sign. What you hit on, then you will find your EKGs there. Let's see. You guys have remote access so far or not yet? Not yet, okay. You guys have the PIV cards at least? Or not even a PIV card? Oh. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, it's working. Yeah, the other things here, we have the ins and outs, usually under the nursing note. Usually they put it in at 7 a.m. in the morning. You have follow-up appointments. I'll show you where to find that as well. Here we go. So shortcuts, Fresno, CPS. All right, so here we discussed the. So you go to reports tab. This is where you're gonna find imaging. Imaging will be here, and then pathology reports will be under anatomic pathology, and usually have autopsy, cytology, and surgical pathology. And then procedures will have the echo and the pulmonary function test. And then probably like the most useful here I find is the if you find any medication giving to the patient at any certain point of time. I go to pharmacy tab here. So you go to clinical reports, you go to pharmacy. Like for example, today my attending was asking me, was the patient ever on hydralazine? So I go here to pharmacy, I go to all medications, I'll try to figure it out. So he will ask me ever, so all results, and then I arrange the medication by alphabetically. So I'm looking for hydralazine. I just go to H here. So GH. So he was on hydrocodone, hydroxyzine, but there is no hydralazine. I'm confident on our system there is no hydralazine. So that's the pharmacy tab. Then the other one we talked about the GI result letter. So when you want to find the echoes and the when you want to find the echo and the sorry, for the GI you want to find the colonoscopy or EGD. You go to GI notes. So you have a bunch of GI notes here. Usually it's a GI result letter, not on this patient here. But they have like an endo HMP, they have gastroenterology consult, and they will discuss all these details here. So you want to find like sleep study, you go to sleep. There should be a sleep somewhere. Yeah, let's start with a sleep study or palm sleep. Right here. Okay, so I remember what are the other ones that we're talking about. We talked about PFT, imaging, pathology, EGD, colonoscopy, EKG. Yeah, EKG is a big one. So for EKG, you go to tools, and then Vista imaging display, and then that will bring up the Vista imaging. And then once it's loading, passwords, and then here is the EKG. You click on the EKG sign, and you have the EKGs listed. This patient doesn't have any EKG, but usually it's listed here, and it will display here. So that's how you find the EKG. What else do we have? Ins and outs, usually under nursing notes. So when you go by the chronological one, all notes, you will find a nursing note. Usually they put it like around 7 a.m. in the morning, and they will document the patient was eating or not, the bowel movements, and the ins and outs. Especially if you have someone like you're diuresing someone or you're trying to fluid restrict someone, that will be listed in there. We have follow-up on discharge appointments. If you want to see if the patient have an appointment after discharge, you will find it here. You go to the cover sheet, and all the appointments will be listed here. So the patient had an appointment on the 30th already, checked out. And then you will find if he is scheduled for something in the future, it will be listed here. So you put an order for outpatient follow-up, it will pop up in here if it's scheduled. Prior admissions, you want to see like a discharge summary from last admission, you go to the DC summary here. It's all discussed in the video that I discussed the tabs and other things. But this is where you find the DC summaries. The PACS is the application that you open for your imaging studies. It should be here somewhere. The PACS, usually at the VA on site, you have it on the desktop, and usually usually the login is ER for the username and emergency for the password. And then after the PACS, the discharge we talked about, the team list, you go to shift handoff tool. probably you guys know this by now, but just for future reference, shift handoff tool. You click on this one, and that will bring you up to the shift handoff tool, and you'll be able to print the team list. The other ones, we have the vitals we talked about, and the JLV. JLV is a useful part. Usually you go there if you have information on a different VA, like from Palo Alto or from different state. You will find all the information listed there, especially if the patient told you like, hey, I had a surgery done a month ago in Tennessee, VA. So you want to find that information, you will find it under JLV. And that comes to the end of our discussion today. I hope you guys find it helpful. Tell me if I missed anything that you are looking to hear or learn about.